So, no, I wouldn't say I have a passion for HR.
Welcome back to Human Resources for the People. It's a human capital revolution. What kind of evidence do you need to fire someone in Germany is a question that I've been asking myself for a very long time, and I was thankful enough to get this article from Bird and Bird, written by Dr. Ralph Panzer, as you can see here. And the German labor courts have put a really high demand on firing low performers. The rule right now is that employers have to prove that the employee either performs less than two-thirds of the work of a comparable average employee, or that they're actually withholding work performance when that happens. And they've confirmed dismissal due to poor performance in a call center sector out of Bremerhaven. And we got to talk about this. This judgment came on December 14th of 2023. This was two employees. They were dismissed without notice, which is very important, due to low performance. And ultimately, the Bremerhaven Labor Court upheld these. And so let's talk through it. They were telephone operators working for the city itself. And it was supposed to be kind of a citizens hotline. It appears that these are one of those calls that you typically you call them to fix potholes or something else. And the city of Bremen said, well, they're taking too few calls. And so the employer evaluated the telephone behavior of the two employees on 4 days in March to May. And what's actually interesting and something curious about German labor law is the workers' councils. So the workers' council had agreed to the evaluation. Now, real quick, when we talk about works councils, they're known as Betriebsräte. It's an integral part of the country's industrial relations systems, and they're legally mandated in workplaces with a certain number of employees. The Betriebsräte are elected by the employees and are responsible for representing their interests in matters concerning working conditions, wages, and social benefits. They have a broad range of powers, including the right to be consulted on important decisions affecting employees, such as layoffs, restructuring, or changes in working hours. German works councils also play a crucial role in promoting workplace democracy and ensuring cooperation between labor and management. They're seen as key partners, fostering a collaborative and mutual beneficial relationship between the employers and the employees. And so the Works Council actually signed off on this, which is very interesting. And I'm also a little bit surprised that there wasn't discussions about the GDPR. The GDPR seems to frequently protect employees in ways that you didn't quite see. The GDPR, of course, is the General Data Protection Regulations, a comprehensive data protection law that was implemented in Europe, in the European Union about 6 years ago. It replaced the DPD, which is the Data Protection Directive of 1995, and was hoping to harmonize in data protection rules across the EU member states. And this really governs how organizations handle personal data of individuals within the EU. And so I kind of got the impression that this might be one of those. For example, drug tests are frequently subject to the GDPR within the European Union. And so I got that this might be possible, that I don't know, that this information might be covered under it. The employees only worked 30 they only had telephone times of between 30 and 35% and 16 and 33% of their scheduled working times. And there was expectations around 60%. So the expectation was roughly two-thirds of the time they were working 30 to 35, and the city of Bremen called this time fraud and dismissed them without notice. Which is very interesting. I mean, again, it seems to me as an American employer a very baseline expectation surrounding performance. These are very low, but the employees actually agree or argued that these were invalid. They said that you can't evaluate the telephone behavior, which is literally their job, right? You can't evaluate their behavior because it wasn't covered under the shop agreement, and also because they hadn't been warned prior. And I think I would agree a little bit with the warning prior, right? Even in the United States, there's the expectation that try to coach these employees. I mean, it's clear that the employer knew from March to May that these employees were poor performers, and yet seemingly really did nothing about it. And I imagine, if I had to guess, that their poor performance was much prior to March. I mean, it doesn't just magically happen, right? But they were upset that it wasn't covered by the shop agreement. Now, ultimately, the shop agreement is, the labor union discussed with the city of Bremen and agreed with it, the Works Council. And the labor court actually upheld the employer's termination, and it said that, well, it's a deliberate neglect of the work obligation and breach of the contract. And they couldn't just say, oh, they're not doing well enough. It was effectively time fraud, and allowed for the idea of data collection and analysis, which, if you recall, and granted this is a different country altogether, but if you recall, that's one of the problems with Amazon in France was the data analysis and data gathering that Amazon was doing in the country on its employees. So what do you think? I mean, this answers one of the questions. What does it take to get fired in Germany? It takes working about a third of your scheduled working time compared to an expectation of 60. Leave a comment down below. Is that too high? Is that too low? Should they have been fired a long time ago? Let me know. Like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next video. Bye, guys.